what's up guys, Benny here and welcome to the 4 most overpowered guns in Warzone right now. These 4 weapons should 100% be in your loadouts. So in this video, I'm going to give you the best class setups with all the best attachments for these 4 weapons, as well as all the important things that you need to know about them. And then towards the end, I'll also give you some of the best loadout combinations because let's be honest, the Season 1 meta has completely changed from previous seasons and attachments just don't do what they say they do, so it's important to know what you should be using. Also, 75% of you watching the channel are not subscribed, so hit that subscribe button and try get us to 500,000 subscribers and you'll get better at Warzone, I promise. Let's start with the Diamatis, which if I'm honest, are stupidly overpowered and are like the rebirth of the snake shot pistols, but potentially even better because of the ridiculous fire rate that you can achieve of over 1,100 rounds per minute per pistol. The Diamatis will also deal 45 damage per bullet, with each pistol firing 3 shots a burst, and it having an upper chest damage modifier, meaning you can deal 148 damage a burst without landing headshots. Which means yes, if you're up close enough, you can one burst an opponent, giving you a near instant kill, which is stupidly faster than the broken R9 Dragon Breath shotgun. Combine that with the 1,100 round per minute fire rate of each pistol, which when you actually think about it, firing both pistols combined means you're shooting over 2,000 rounds per minute if you had bottomless mags, which is completely and utterly broken, and you can wipe entire teams up close without even needing to plate. And the stupid thing is, you don't even need to take into account headshot damage because upper chest is still going to mean that you one burst an opponent if you land all your shots. And in a worst case scenario, your second follow-up shot, which is almost instant, will finish them off anyway. But that's not what makes the Diamatis so strong, in my opinion. The thing that really breaks it is the fact that these Akimbo Diamatis also allows you to grab Ghost from the first loadout straight away. This means that you don't need 2 loadouts for you to be in the best position possible, meaning if your team buys a loadout early on in the game, you're going to have the first loadout drop that drops for everyone as the perfect place to regain if you get sent to the gulag or need to be brought back. This almost guarantees that you'll always have Ghost and your loadout weapons for the majority of the game, which we all know is a huge advantage in Warzone. But the Diamatis are just one of those guns that you want to have ranked up and in your loadouts because as an Akimbo setup, they are the best in the game. So this is the Diamati class that you're going to want to be using. For the muzzle, I use the Agency Suppressor. It's effectively the monolithic suppressor. It gives you that increase in damage range, and the only cons are aim down sight speed and aim walking steadiness. And with this build, you're never going to be aiming down sight, so that con is never an issue. Go for the Agency Suppressor. Best muzzle, hands down. Then for the barrel, a lot of people were going for the 7.2 task force, but it actually doesn't make that much of a difference. But what it does do is increase your vertical and horizontal recoil control, so your bursts are going to be a bit more spread out. They're not going to be as centered as you want them to be. So I go for the 6.5 takedown. The only negative to that is my sprinting move speed, but it increases my effective damage range. I'm going to be able to get those 1 to 2 bursts at a little bit further distance, which really works well from my experience. Then for the laser, one of the most important attachments that you're going to have with this build is the SWAT 5MW laser, because that, from testing, really tightens that hip fire spray that you get. So you're going to get more 1-shot burst kills and 2-shot burst kills than you would without it, compared to like the steady aim or the Ember sighting point, which is what a lot of people thought would be the best one. But the 5MW laser, easily the best, and also doesn't affect your sprint to fire time. So you're going to be able to have a faster time to kill, because the second you want to get your shots off, you're going to be able to start firing straight away. The ammo is quite easy. Go for the Salvo 30 round fast mag. Most amount of bursts in your clip, 10 bursts at a time, and also only punishes your aim down sight speed. So that means like it doesn't matter, because we're going to be going to stock next, where you get your dual wield attachment, which means you've got 2 pistols and you're going to be spraying and getting the fastest time to kill from one of the most overpowered weapons in Warzone. And that is the build that you want. Also, I've got the tiny COMRADE blueprint, which looks pretty damn cool, but that's the build you want to have for the Diamatis. Well, the second most overpowered weapon in Warzone right now is also probably the perfect pairing to the Diamattis, and it's the DMR-14, which, if I'm honest, you should just enjoy for now, as this thing will probably be the first weapon to be nerfed in the new year, because I've never seen a weapon be so dominant in Call of Duty ever. Now, what makes the DMR-14 so powerful is, firstly, it's incredibly accurate, and with the right build, you're able to achieve a very high rate of fire, but also easily be able to land consecutive shots on an opponent, which means you can take down entire teams at a distance very easily. The DMR-14 has a fire rate of 370 rounds per minute, which will deal 175 damage for a headshot, which is just ridiculous, by the way, as it makes it a 2-shot kill at over 100 meters away. So if you've got a great shot, you can take down anyone before they even get a chance to react, which is a little bit unfair. The DMR-14 is a little bit more balanced when you take into account just body shots, which deal 60 damage a pop, meaning you do need 5 shots to take down a fully armored opponent, but throw a headshot in there and it's a quick 3-shot kill, which, when you think that you can achieve a fire rate of up to 370 rounds per minute if you've got a quick enough trigger finger, which is why I think mouse and keyboard players will have even more success with the DMR-14 compared to controller players. You can just spray at a squad with large mag sizes that use assault rifle ammo at the same time, so you know you're not going to run out of ammo. It's also easily one of the few weapons that I've seen be able to take someone consistently out of a Big Bertha, but it's easily the most overpowered gun in Warzone history at this point in time, and you're missing out if you're not using it. Now for the DMR-14 class setup, and there has been a lot of debate about this build because people have been testing different barrels and stuff, and there is one particular setup which is the best. So the muzzle you're going to want to have is that agency silencer because it is the monolithic suppressor. I just like saying monolithic. I might just call it monolithic suppressor, but increase in damage range and sound suppression, something you want. You stay off radar, and also you've got that maximum damage output, so you can kind of 2-shot people at the furthest distance possible. For the barrel, a lot of people initially thought that the 20.8 Task Force or Match Grade would be the best barrel because of effective damage range, increase in damage. It doesn't actually make a difference, and I personally think there's a lot of problems with how the pros and cons are listed. I don't think they're working as intended, but the 16.3-inch titanium is actually the best barrel to have because it's going to tighten that spread so that when you're firing quickly, you've got more shots landing in the same area, so you're more likely to get that 2-shot headshot or take down opponents quicker as your bullets are going exactly where you want them to be, and also you're getting more bullets off. So the 16.3-inch titanium, 100% the one you want to go for. The underbarrel, you want the field agent foregrip. It's going to increase that control of the vertical and horizontal recoil and only punish your shooting move speed, which with a DMR isn't actually that big of a deal. So 100% use that. Then for the ammo, I go for the 30-round mag. Your other choice is the jungle style mag. What you don't want is to punish your aim down sight time. You want to have that as quickly as possible. And as it's a single shot weapon, having a 30-round or the fast mag work perfectly. You're not going to blitz through your ammo and not be able to take out multiple opponents. So I personally use the 30-round mag, which works best for me. Then the optic that you want to be using, in my opinion, is the actual arms 3 times. So Vision Tech 2 times is also really good if you don't mind having a little bit of a shorter vision, but the actual arms 3 is what I found works for me. And then for the customize, in the gameplay that you just saw, I was using the kill shot reticle, which is really nice. There's a bunch of really nice reticles. The clean living one's also really nice. The default is also really good, but personally been using the kill shot, which works well for me. And then that is the DMR-14 build that you want to be using in Warzone right now. My next overpowered weapon for Warzone Season 1 is a classic, and though it did get a shadow nerf with its damage at range, it's still the best automatic assault rifle in the entire game. None of the Cold War assault rifles stand up to it, so I thought it'd be best to include it so you still have it in your loadouts. What makes the Kilo so good isn't its raw damage output, which isn't as high as some of the others. Its ease of use means that you can go into a fight with the Kilo and know that you're going to have an incredibly consistent weapon where you're going to be able to land consecutive shots easily. Because let's be honest, the Kilo doesn't have any recoil, and it also has a very solid bullet velocity with the base weapon firing at 720 meters a second. So you can easily track your opponent with that combined fire rate of 751 rounds per minute. And with you dealing 42 damage for a headshot and 28 for a body shot, you can take down enemies pretty damn quickly just because there's no other assault rifle in the game where you're going to find it this easy to hit your shots. There's a reason the Kilo has been the go-to assault rifle for every pro Warzone player for the past few seasons because it's one of the best all-round assault rifles in Call of Duty history, and just because a load of new Cold War weapons have been added doesn't mean you should stop using the Kilo in your loadouts. Now, this Kilo build is the best, and you probably already know it. It's the monolithic suppressor with the Singard 19.8 Prowler barrel. You've then got the Commando foregrip for your underbarrel before having the 60-round mag. And then on the optic, we go ahead and use the VLK 3 times, where I use the T-Pose reticle. It's a build that we've seen for a long time now. Personally, one of the best assault rifles in the game, definitely overpowered, and you should be using this as your automatic assault rifle of choice. Our next most overpowered weapon in Warzone Season 1 is everyone's favorite new SMG, the MAC-10. And I've seen a lot of different setups for this, but there's one in particular that really stands out. But the MAC-10 is just a melt machine. I mean, it has a fire rate of over 1,100 rounds per minute, which for an SMG is absolutely insane. Other than the Diamatis, there isn't much that can outdamage the MAC-10 in Warzone up close. It's also pretty good at those gunfights that most other SMGs don't necessarily dominate in that 15 to 20 meter range, which you'll find yourself in a lot around building gunfights. And that's also one of the reasons you would use the MAC-10 over the Diamatis. But the MAC-10, as I said, has a 1,100 rounds per minute fire rate and then does 40 damage for a headshot and then 25 to the body. And that will help you understand how the MAC-10 takes people down so quickly. You need just 10 bullets to the body, which are being sprayed out at a ridiculous rate with low recoil as well to take down a fully armored opponent. That helps you have a very fast time to kill. But what I love about the MAC-10 is it's replaced the MP5 perfectly. I also don't think it's too overpowered that it'll get a nerf. It's just a perfect balance which allows you to dominate those close range fights, whether it's holding down enemy team pushers inside of buildings or being the aggressor yourself. One tip I will give you, with the Diamatis being so powerful right now, is if you notice an enemy player is using them and you have the MAC-10, try and hold the widest angle possible on an entry point to a room so you've got the furthest distance possible between you and where the enemy is going to first appear. This will allow you to beat the Diamatis comfortably with the MAC-10, as they'll need to get right in your face to take you down quickly. A small tip, but will definitely help you out. Now, this is my MAC-10 build for Call of Duty Warzone. The muzzle, it's always going to be the same thing. The agency suppressor is going to be going on there. Then we go for the barrel, where you use the 5.9 task force. This is going to increase your damage, effective damage range, and bullet velocity. It's just going to make that MAC-10 absolutely shred your opponents at those longer distances. Because remember, when you go up against the Diamatis, which are dominant at super close range, you need to be dominating that 10 to 15 to 20 meter range, which is where the MAC-10 does that. So the 5.9 task force is a brilliant barrel. For the underbarrel, it's pretty much only has one grip of underbarrel of choice across every weapon. It's a field agent grip because you get that vertical and horizontal recoil control. So you're going to use that. Then for the ammo, you go for the Salvo 53 round fast mag. Most amount of bullets and also the fast reload time, and the aim down sight time that it punishes is like not noticeable. So it's a no-brainer in my opinion. Then a lot of people were deliberating about which one should be used. Should be using a stock and having the Raider stock, so you got a faster sprint fire time. However, the best one to have is on the rear grip, and it's the SASR jungle grip. It's going to increase that aim down sight time and also reduce your flinch resistance. So in a one-on-one gunfight, your gun's not going to move around as much, and it's going to allow you to land all your shots. And that is the best MAC-10 class setup in Warzone right now. Now, I also want to give you what I think are two of the best loadouts to use in Warzone with those weapons that I've just shown you. The first one is this, where I use the DMR-14, which is the perfect mid to long range weapon in Warzone, in my opinion, which absolutely shreds, and then pair that with those Diamatis. Now, those Diamatis allow me to go ahead and get EOD, Ghost, and Amped right off the rip. So it means I'm off radar. If people are getting UAVs in straight away, I'm going to be completely under the radar and be able to attack squads and get more UAVs in and pick up a lot of kills earlier on in the game. And also, these are unbelievably good up close. So do not do not ignore these and rank them up if you can. I don't think they'll get nerfed anytime soon, partially because not many people are using them right now, and it's kind of going under the radar compared to everyone shouting about the DMR. Then the second loadout that I'd recommend you use is the Kilo that we just saw, which is this one right here, which we've been using for a while now, and then pairing it with the MAC-10. That is like a perfect assault rifle SMG combo. You can swap the Kilo out for that DMR that we saw, but this has EOD, overkill, and amps. You don't get ghosts, which is a bit of a downside, which is why right now this is my favorite loadout. But I hope you guys found this video useful. Let me know what you think down in the comments below and which guns you're going to be using. Smash that like button and subscribe if you're new, and I will see you next time.